Hey, Rich, Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you today? Well, let me try to get through this. This is like trying attempt number 4. Yeah. Where do I go from here? Let's see. Proof positive of what lying little pieces of crap the Democratic Party is and the media is. First, got to start off with this whole stimulus negotiation thing. Democratic Party has been, every time the Republicans move toward them on an issue, they come up with a new issue and move further away. So what was supposed to be a bill to provide stimulus checks to people who were not on unemployment, increase to $600 again. The Republicans have moved all the way to that for the weekly unemployment benefits added to the states. Stimulus checks that to help businesses out, provide some additional funding for small business, things of this nature. Okay. In exchange, the Democrats wanted, let's see, the Green New Deal. Yeah, that was one they insisted on. They also wanted, love this one, I really do, for the government to allow mail-in voting in every state. Well, number one, sorry Democrats, the federal government doesn't have the right to tell the states what to do when it comes to that. They also wanted done away with having to have identification at polling places. Yeah, picks on the poor people. So the Democrats like to tell you. Okay, I know a lot of poor people here in Tennessee that vote every year. Yeah, honestly. Or every election, excuse me. So, because you got to have it to get public aid. Yeah. So that kind of scratches off that the poor people don't have any kind of identification. If I was black, I'd really be ticked at the Democrats saying, "You think I'm so stupid that I don't even have any kind of identification? Most of us have driver's license and IDs and social security cards and all kinds of fancy stuff. Honest, we're not so stupid that we don't have those things." That's number one. Okay? Most states that I'm aware of provide free identification cards, all this kind of stuff. But they wanted it, the 37 states that do require you to have identification at the polls, they wanted to overturn that to where that wasn't required anymore. Really? And just all assorted kind of little stupid stuff like that they were throwing into this, negotiations. And they knew that the Republicans were not going to accept that. We're not. No American wants to accept that. We do not want, I know you guys want, the Democrats want, illegal aliens voting in our elections. We as Americans would just assume that wasn't happening. And the point's been made of you can stand back 6 foot in a line, you can wear a mask, you're no greater risk than when you go to like Lowe's and Home Depot and Walmart and Kroger's and you do that, why can't you go to the polls? See, I don't think it's a problem with the American people. I think it's a problem with the Democratic Party. See, they want that mail-in vote because, man, I'll tell you what, so far the few states that have had it because of this American crisis we're suffering today, because I can't say the other words. You guys' elections are hosed. I mean, they're screwed up. They still don't know who won, okay, months after the election. Are you kidding? This is nothing more than trying to get the Republicans to sign off on a bunch of proposals that they know will never pass, ever, okay? But they're trying. Then I watched the news after watching him having to sign these executive orders, keeping the interest on student loans at 0 and deferring the payments off till the end of the year, where they don't have to make any payments and then resume at the end of the year. He could only, with his authority, go up $400 a month or a week in the unemployment, which he took it up as far as he could legally do. He can't do the stimulus, which a lot of people who work odd jobs and things of this nature desperately need. But the Democrats don't care. And it talk about the poor people. There you go. Yeah. They could care less. Okay? After all, Nancy Pelosi's refrigerator's well stocked with ice cream, so why should she give a crap? Right? Also, some mortgage protection and rental, trying to stop people from getting tossed out of their homes. Things of this nature. The next thing I see on the news is how Donald Trump is trying to defund Social Security. This is the kind of garbage coming out of the Democrats and out of the mainstream media. But, they're counting on the fact that most Americans have about a 30-second memory span. In February of 2012, when Barack Obama was running for president for the second term, he did the exact same thing. Deferred payroll taxes. Exact same thing. Exact same thing. But the difference was the Democratic Party and mainstream media see Donald Trump's just trying to help out the working people. Or, not Donald Trump. Donald Trump actually is. Barack Obama, which could give a crap. Barack Obama got very rich as president. Yeah. Did all right for himself. Donald Trump's been losing money. I wonder who is doing this when they stand up and say, I love the American people, and I'm trying to help the American people. It seems to me like Donald Trump, he's got skin in the game. He's actually losing money trying to help the American people. But this was immediately following him signing those executive orders. They started this stuff. Other than the fact they were screaming it's unconstitutional, and they had pretty much covered their constitutional basis with all this, okay? It just ticked the Democrats off beyond compare that he was able to provide some assistance to the American public without their nonsense. Ticked them off. Unbelievable. If you are even contemplating voting for a Democrat, and I don't care, House, Senate, President, whatever, you, my friend, you're not real bright. Donald Trump also, we had a problem down here with the TVA, Tennessee Valley Authority, handles all the power down in here. Big operation, yeah. Matter of fact, the board of directors is appointed by the government, by the federal government. It's that big of a deal. And they decided to use these worker visas where you can bring in people from other countries to fill jobs. Supposedly, and here's the kicker, the TVA couldn't go out and hire foreign workers for their positions under that visa program. Be against the law. Against the law. Instead, they hired a contractor to come in and replace those jobs with those workers. Yeah, the board was pretty slick with that one. They thought they was going to get away with it. Yeah. The CEO of the Tennessee Valley Authority makes some ungodly salary, like $1 million a year or some nonsense. Totally outrageous. So Donald Trump came down and pretty much put his arm around their necks. You had the engineers and technicians from Kentucky and Tennessee losing their jobs so that they could bring in people from like India and so forth. Okay? Losing their jobs. These are good, hardworking, union Americans. Good jobs. Board was going to make some extra money on it. You can bet some dollars, cents changed hands with that contractor. You can count on it. Well, letters went to Washington. Washington responded. Donald Trump came down and said, I can't do anything much other than fire this board of directors. So he took out the first two of them and told the rest of them, now you fix this or else you're next. They fixed it. Told the contractor to go take a walk. And I'm sure they got their money already in advance, so it's no money out of their pockets. They're dealing with the CEO and his CO or whatever, CFO, and getting rid of them. You know, you want to save money? There, get rid of those two clowns. And some of these workers that had already been laid off are now being called back by the TVA, and Americans kept their jobs. Democratic appointed board. Think about that for a minute. Barack Obama appointees. I swear Trump should go through the entire U.S. government, and if he controls an employee that was put into place by that man, he needs to fire him. But that's not the way he is, because he doesn't want to, he doesn't want to kick American workers off the job, even if they are pretty much trying to derail his administration. Sad. So these Kentucky and Tennesseans got to keep their jobs. Congratulations, Donald Trump. If you continue to listen to the mainstream media, under Barack Obama in 2012, February 2012, go look it the hell up. He deferred payroll taxes for American workers. CNN and MSNBC and all those guys, they just fell to their knees going, "Oh, Lord Obama, you're such a great guy, helping out the little man." Democratic leadership was bowing. "Oh, yeah, you're wonderful." Yeah, he was running for president. Second term. Social Security disappeared in 2012? No? Donald Trump did that. Same thing, to help out the American workers. Put a little extra cash in their pocket because they're having hard times. What did the media have to say to him? What did the Democrats have to say? "Oh, he's getting rid of your Social Security." Lying little pieces of crap. That's all you are. But guess what? Most Americans are catching on. Even a lot of your Democrats are catching on. The ones who can think that you haven't completely brainwashed. Green New Deals. Really? Has anybody told you, if there's any of you Democrats that are still hanging on to the global warming thing, oh my God, the sky's falling. Polar ice has been growing in this globe of ours since 2012. 2012, folks. More ice. Polar bears are walking around with their little paws dry. What do you think? You're foolish. You get sold a bill of goods. What was the global warming all about? So a bunch of little third world countries and a whole bunch of Democrats was going to make a lot of money off carbon taxes. Yeah. And they're still trying to pump you into it. They're hoping that someday the Democrats will come into full power again and they might get away with it. They almost got away with it under Barack Obama. Almost. Al Gore's inconvenient truth. The inconvenient truth was he stood to make billions off of the carbon exchange. There's the inconvenient truth. Anything else he had to say was a lie. And there's a lot of science out there who are saying, nah. I mean, how do you work off of models, weather models, that scientists from all over the world are going, they're broken, they don't work. It's BS. You still hang on to it though, don't you? Why? Our Democrats told us they wouldn't lie to us. Let me tell you something. The way you can tell a Democratic politician is lying to you is that their lips are moving. Lack of common sense, lack of understanding, lack of education, you name it, you guys are suffering from it. But you're going to vote that way anyway. What amazes me, though, is the black vote for Democrat. And, oh, yeah. This is the party of the KKK. This is the party of the slaveholders. Matter of fact, if you want to go after a seat like me, okay, my family, throughout our entire genealogy, there's no slave owners. None. Not a single one. Most of America, since only about 3 to 5% were actually slaveholders, most of America's whites and Native American stuff, we didn't have slaves. But yeah, you're coming to us guys saying, we want restitution. Yeah. Okay. I 100% agree. And the party that was responsible for your ancestors' enslavement needs to pay the bill. So you need to start a letter writing campaign to the DNC, tell them how much you've given us. They sure haven't given you any favors. Welfare. Broke up your families. Okay? Turned your upside down. Well, they did give you Planned Parenthood to kill off your babies. I can't think of much the Democrats have really ever done for you, other than give you lip service. They're the party of the slaveholder. They are the party of the Jim Crow law. They are the party of the KKK. They've had KKK members under their political banner even as late as the 1990s. KKK's pretty much died out. Don't talk to me about slavery until you go talk to the people that actually was responsible. And if you're wanting to extend it out of, well, you know, if you were an ancestor of, well, I wasn't. Okay? But they are part of the party that enslaved you, or your ancestors. They are the party that came up with the war on poverty so that they could keep you desegregated out of the economy. Yeah, that was the reason for it, folks. They weren't trying to do you any favors. They wanted to desegregate you economically. See, because that's the way this melting pot actually works. The Italians, when they first came here, oh my God, those people were treated like dirt. Okay? And a lot of them came as indentured servants, slaves. Irish too. But they eventually got into business, got out there and started doing their thing. And guess what? They became, how many people are, racist or anything toward an Italian American or Irish Americans? Just Americans. Okay? And the ones you're wanting to collect restitution from, probably their ancestors, who came here as indentured servants, just like your ancestors. My ancestors were mostly Native American, so I can tell you, you don't even want those stories. So if you want to really go after be paid back for slavery, DNC, there you go. You got a one-stop shop. Oh, but wait a minute, you can't do that. You've been voting for these people for all these years. Yeah, you have. Real bright, huh? Luckily, I'm seeing a lot of blacks are walking away from the Democratic Party. It's like they started thinking for themselves and went, no, not playing it. Listen, nobody's going to pay out for that sort of nonsense, especially the Democrats. And they go to war with you before they give you a dime. They haven't been taking care of you. They could care less. Donald Trump, who they say, he's terrible, has done more for the black community in his first term than the Democrats have probably done in the last 50 years. Think on that a minute. I'm gonna go vote for Joe Biden. Really? Joe Biden? Are you kidding? Senile fart. Anyway, this went long. The Lion media and the Lion Democrats need to knock it off. February 2012, Barack Obama signed a tax deferment. Okay? This weekend, so did Donald Trump. One of them was the savior of the working class. The other one, trying to destroy old people. Sick of it. Sick of it. Just because it falls out of the Democrats' mouth does not make it true. Just because it falls out of CNN's mouth does not make it true. Try doing a little fact checking on these clowns. But wait a minute, they control the fact checkers. Oh, shoot. Makes it tough, doesn't it? Wake up, America. While we have the ability to not end up in a civil war, we can still do this politically, but it's going to require you Democrats waking up. Try that. Try opening your eyes. Try doing a little research. As Red Tissium said, hope you're having a great week. And let's pay attention to what the Democrats are doing to you and what they're doing to this country. Donald Trump wanted each one of you to have a stimulus check in your pocket by now. The Democrats don't. They're the ones holding it up. So think on that if you're a poor Democrat before you head off to the polls. They're the ones who took that check away from you with their nonsense. It has nothing to do with the pandemic and any of that. It has to do with the Democrats want to try to keep this economy down and want your life to be harder, because then they are assured you'll vote for them. Because after all, Orange Man bad. Have a good one.